Welcome, Dr. J. Mangai Kharasi, ma'am. I hope I am pronouncing it rightly, maybe wrong. So I would say the my favorite name, which I often call you, Mangai Wilson. I think that is the best I love. So I invited Dr. J. Mangai Karasi Mangai J. Wilson. That is Mangai Wilson, ma'am. She is commonly known as. She's been teaching English language and literature in India for more than 2 decades to UD and PG grades and supervising research studies in English language and literature at Ethiraj College, Tamil Nadu, earned her BA, MA, and MPhil in English, and completed her PhD research in English language teaching at Loyola College University of Madras. Her main interests are syllabus and curriculum design and its application, creativity, innovation, and use of technology and techniques in language education. She is currently interested in bringing artificial intelligence and augmented reality into ELT, English language teaching. She is a national convener of LTI chapters and associate of IATEFL and TESOL. IATEFL that belongs to Britain and TESOL belongs to America. She is one of the board of directors of a literary association dedicated to the cause of promoting reading habits among adult learners. I think this is the need of the hour in the pandemic time too. Uh, she has talked about two books. One is ESL Assessment in Tamil Nadu Methods and Practices. She has co-authored Essentials of Language, a course and workbook for English Language Lab. She has also co-authored Basic Grammar Quick Find series, and she has on her name, other websites where I am going to share it over here. You people can check it down. You can zoom. She has another book that is zooming into digital education, instructional design for English language teachers, which was launched on 5th September 2020. She is top 50 women educators across India by a news organization, which happened in March 2020. She has won Mayan Awards for her superlative efforts towards extending the reach of education at Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia on May 12th, 2018. She is Best Educationalist Award for her meritorious and selfless services to humanity in the field of education on 8th March 2018 by the Society of Maldives, India. She is also Best Social Activist Award in recognition of her outstanding contribution in the field of community outreach and services by Indian Confederation of Labour 2018. She has also won Mother Teresa Award 2017, and she has also got award for the steadfast commitment towards the development of underprivileged children from Vista, India in 2017. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Students' Day Best Teacher Award was also given to her in 2011. She has visited so far Sri Lanka, that is in Colombo, in 2014. She has gone to Birmingham, Scotland in 16 and 17. She has gone to Malaysia in 2018 and has delivered keynote address at Sri Lanka RESC conference September 2018. So ma'am, a widely traveled, extensively read person, and I think one of the best ELT specialists we have in India today, Dr. Mangai Wilson. You are welcome, ma'am. And now, virtually, the platform is yours.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Ma'am, you're mute. Yes, yes, yes. Now you're audible.
Okay, okay. Shall we begin, ma'am? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good evening to one and all present here. I'm happy to be with you all this evening. I thank Dr. Anita Sharma to have invited me to be part of Shimla audience, and it's an international FDP, and I'm so happy to share my experience, ethical issues related to research publications. When it comes to research publications, all of us, we are all uh, we are all in a what shall I say, in a fix. I shall say we got used to a different part of it, and all of us were used only to the examination medium. When it comes to any publication, any publication material or anything, we all think that it's only producing a summary, just paraphrasing something or interpreting something like that. But as researchers, it is our prime duty to know what is ethics first and how we can incorporate that ethics into research publication. And we'll move on to ethical issues related in research publication. I'm trying to share my screen, but unable to share. And from uh, Abhirami's laptop, we are trying to connect, but we are unable to do so. But anyway, let's we'll go ahead uh, with the issues related to research publications. Okay. First, I would like to quote Wally Mann, that is, the value of research, it depends as much as on its ethical veracity as on the novelty of its discoveries. So, the value of research, when you read a research paper, when you come across any research or anything, the value of research, depends as much as on its ethical veracity. So ethical veracity, it's very important, and we should know what it means. And when you follow that, you can bring out the best of you, best of your discoveries, your findings, your experiments, your analysis. When you bring out your best, your own genuine material, your own authentic material, then that would really gives you a satisfaction, 100% satisfaction at the end of the day. So what is ethics? Let's go on to, let's explore what is ethics. What all of us say ethics. What is ethics? It refers to the rules of conduct of carrying out research. So when we begin our research, there are so many rules of conduct we should follow when we carry out a research. So ethical issues are present at all stages of research. There are in each and every stage, right from the beginning. We have to be careful. We have to follow it. So right from the beginning, we have to follow that, and in all stages, we can follow that. So that is the essential part of research process. When we engage into a research process, first we should know what are all the ethical issues related to it, and research ethics aims to ensure participants um, are treated with dignity and respect. So there are two coins. We have to treat ourselves with dignity and respect. We should be respected, and we should do something about it. And then we have to protect participants from harm and promote their welfare. So as a supervisor, we have to protect our researchers, and then we have to promote their welfare, and we have to promote good research, whether it is social sciences or anything. It has to produce a good research. So that is it. So next one is publication ethics. Next, where we are focusing on publication. Publication ethics. So there are the checklists, and publication ethics. We have to have the approval and consent, and we have to have the data and accuracy, and we have to check for plagiarism and self plagiarism. And first, approval and consent. First, we have to send it for approval, and we should have the consent of the one we are researching on. And we have to give accurate data, and we should not fabricate, we should not give any false data into it, and we should produce that accuracy, that accurate data when we publish something, when we engaged in a research publication with the data. And plagiarism and self-plagiarism. Sometimes we ourselves we tend to plagiarize our own material, which was used in some other publication. And plagiarism that plays a pivotal role. Most of us have the habit of memorizing something, borrowing someone's idea, and then we paraphrase and re-paraphrase it and interpret it in our own words. So that when we say something, we have to acknowledge them. At the same time, when you share your ideas, you have to share it with proper defense. That is important. And submission of fraud. If you should not take away others' ideas. You should not take away others' interpretation on other things. And ethics of authorship, that is more important. You should own. Well, even in the beginning, I made a mention that you should own your writing, writing style, the writing style, and whatever you write, it should be your own ideas, your own thoughts. When you borrow someone's idea, you have to acknowledge that. Then conflict of interest. You have to see the interest of the readers, the receivers. When you write for audience, before you write for any journal or anything, first you have to look out for the target audience. Target audience are more important, and then the readership. You have to check the readership. Based on that, you have to choose your topic, and then you can write that. So there are ethics committees formed in science, social sciences and sciences. So proposed methodology and methods of data collection, and you have to approach with ethical issues scrutinized by peers, and then judgments are made in accordance with principles and relevant codes of ethics. So there are codes of ethics. We have ethical issues in publication. So in publication, our main focus is on ethical issues in publication. So there are 4 types of issues we come across when it comes to publication, research publication. The first one is duplicate publication. The second one is authorship and order. The third one is scientific misconduct, that is including plagiarism, and everything comes under this ethical issue, and conflict of interest. Duplicate publication, you publish it in different places, first in a journal or any other conference proceedings or something, and then you send it to some other journal, and then sometimes it was published, it will be published by others, and you republish that, and authorship and order, and you claim authorship. And will be in trouble even in when we make a script for a movie. Nowadays we come across that in Tamil movies. I have no idea about other areas, but in Tamil Nadu, we often come across that authorship issues in film script. And scientific misconduct. The scientific misconduct is including plagiarism. We plagiarize, we copy the ideas of others, and sometimes we try to do that, and then we will do something about it. And then conflict of interest. Conflict of interest is sometimes you should keep track of the interest of the target audience. You have to maintain that it should be coherent. You have to maintain the same spirit right from the beginning till the end of your writing. So when you give in the introduction, you begin well, and then you slow down, and then when you conclude, it will be a different one. So when you introduce something, when you create that interest among your readers, then you have to maintain the same thing, and then you should not conflict the interest of your readers at all. So these are all the ethical issues involved in publication. Sometimes we introduce with one idea, and then we copy others ideas, and then we develop the body of that publication, and when we conclude with a different one, different idea, and we introduce a new idea in our conclusion too sometimes. So you should not have all these. You should maintain that coherent coherence right from the beginning, from introduction till conclusion. Plagiarism. What do we mean by plagiarism? Plagiarism is nothing but it ranges from the unreferenced use of others' published and unpublished ideas, including research grant applications to submission, and then new authorship of a completed paper, and then sometimes in a different language. Sometimes we translate, and then we just introduce that as our own paper, our own idea, and then we claim authorship there. That is an ethical issue we often face. There are in our country there are different languages, and if it really interests, we claim authorship there, and it may occur at any stage of planning, research writing of publication, and it applies to print and electronic versions too. Electronic versions, it's simple nowadays. It's simple. We can cut, copy, and paste. We can copy and paste, and we can easily refer Google and get the translation, and we can paste it in that place. But nowadays there are a lot of measures we are taking to complete that process of research publication. And in that research publication, where we have to maintain coherence, we should not borrow ideas of others, and we should be very careful when it comes to research publication. And then this in this research publication, we should make sure that it's our own idea. It's not a translated one. And there are even in plagiarism, a few percentage are allowed. That is 15% similarly allowed, and then 16 to 30% in thesis publication. And for research article publication too, there are few percentage allowed. 16 to 30% authors invited to revise. Sometimes when we submit it, they are invited to revise their article. Even in our own LTI journal, we receive lot of materials for publication, a lot of articles for publication, research articles for publication. When we receive that, it will be in a different form, and we struggle hard, and we send it back to the authors, and we ask them to edit it properly and send it across to us. And 31 to 50% papers we reject. Sometimes we reject that. This is our own experience from Journal of English Language Language Teaching. That's been there. We have been publishing it for more than 50 years. Over 50% of paper we reject, and we ask for an explanation due to this plagiarism. So we can, as researchers, as research practitioners, as supervisors, as scholars, it's better to avoid all that. Before we engage into any publication, first we have to see the rules of publication or the methods of publication. What are all the research methods of publication? And then there are so many research methods of publication we have, and I would like to I would like to sail you through that research publication process. First one is you have to come up with introduction, and you have to give a good introduction, and then based on that you have to introduce your idea. Once you introduce your idea, you can go on with literature review. Literature review gives an idea of who all wrote on that particular topic, and gives an idea and a broader area of a broad idea of that particular topic, chosen topic. And then you can introduce your research area. once you introduce your research area, you introduce, and whether you are concentrating on, yeah, the characters or the theme or anything, if it is English language teaching, what methodology, and you have to support it with theory. Whenever we write something, any research publication, when we support it with theoretical background, that really helps a lot. You have to incorporate that theory into your research writing. You should have the habit as a scholar, when you write something for any journal publication. You should know, as scholars, many of us never ever try to support theories into our research writing. That's the best method. That's the only method we should follow. We have to support it with theories. We have no Indian theories, but we can try to create our own theories and incorporate that in our Indianness. So that's our again our responsibility to introduce that. At the same time, you can support it with theories. Psychoanalytic theories are there, language teaching theories are there. So but based on the topic you choose, you can introduce theories, you incorporate the theory, support your idea with the theory, you analyze that, and you just prove that, or when you can share your analysis, or you can disprove your idea. You start with the hypothesis. When you start with the hypothesis, and then you share your research question too. If it is a research article, you share your research question, and then how you find your answer through the research process, through the article. You have to bring in everything into your research writing. That would be the best article we could give on to our readers. So that's our responsibility. So when you address these ethical issues in research publication, definitely you could bring in the best article for to your readers. So that's our responsibility as scholar, as a teacher, or supervisor, or a research practitioner, or a student. And so these are all the issues we should address on. There are 5 principles of ethics we should keep in our mind as scholars, as teachers, as practitioners. First, discuss intellectual ideas properly, frankly, with your peers, with your professor, with your supervisor, or with your learners too. Even these days, our learners give us a lot of ideas. We learn from our learners too. There is no hard and fast rule at all. We can learn from our learners. So we should be conscious of multiple roles we play when we write something. As a writer, we play multiple roles. We are responsible for each and everything we pen. So that's more important. We are responsible for that. You should be conscious before you bring in something out into print. And you follow informed consent rules. You have to follow informed consent rules. And you should respect confidentiality and privacy when it comes to writing. um, Respect your confidentiality, and you respect your privacy, and you tap into ethics resources that would give you an insight into a lot of ethical issues involved in research publication. I just shared a simple one. Just It's just a beginning, I shall say. We have a limited time, so I just shared my ideas. I would like to show two videos. One is what is ethics, and then how it involves in research publication. I request Ms. Abhirami to share that videos. With that, I'll wind up. If you have any questions, please post it here. I'm looking forward to answer your questions here. Thank you very much. you're unable to hear, but I just see that these are all example. You just these are all we encounter when it comes to research publication. We just muted that audio. We just wanted you to have a glance of it. I hope you had a glance of it. Okay, let's move on to questions. There are a lot of questions there in the question answer session. I would like to answer those questions. One of them asked thesis writing. In thesis writing, 30% plagiarism allowed. That is allowed. Okay. Any other questions?
Hello.
Any other
Am I audible,
questions?
ma'am?
Okay. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. Please stop, I know your screen presentation so that we can
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
we can look you or we can
We
have
can have a question and answer session.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would be fine.
Abhirami, just stop presenting.
I see, ma'am, Mangesh, there are so many compliments for you. Nice session, very informative session. Excellent talk. And you have already answered one of the question, which actually talked about the percentage of plagiarism. Have you answered this one, Sabia Mufti's question?
Yes, ma'am. 30% of plagiarism allowed in thesis writing in our university. But
what
other
about
universities,
international level?
ma'am?
On the national and international level, it's not up to the university. I think 20% is allowed.
30% allowed.
30%.
They use software to test that the plagiarism level. There are different softwares available. Each university they follow it, but once they give it for plagiarism check, once they submit it after the viva, they upload it in a website, so they can refer the thesis there. Usually we visit to different libraries to have a glance of thesis. Nowadays, from that portal, we can refer our thesis.
Okay. Ma'am, there is another question by Savita Malhotra.
Sir?
She's asking when the research...
Kamal Sinha, sir.
Savita Malhotra is the name. I'm reading the question. When the research report is given the shape of a book, will it be called double publication? Thesis into a book. What would it would be? A double publication?
No. When we publish our thesis, no, ma'am, it's not double publication. If when we publish our thesis, we get permission from the university. They give us permission within a certain period. We can publish our thesis, and it's not going to be verbatim. We can edit, and based on the topic, we can change the topic and publish, and it will not come under double publication. In our acknowledgement itself, we can disclaim that it's our own thesis published as a book.
Okay. Thank you so much. There is another question by Ranjana Yadav. She is asking, what is the UGC guidelines for plagiarism? UGC guidelines. I think the crux of the presentation was that only, but still we would like to know more.
Yeah. UGC guidelines, it has no specific guidelines for this plagiarism. Only now we have taken up, and all the universities introduced that the plagiarism check. Earlier it was not so. It just gives us some condition, that is a few percentage of plagiarism. If it has something more than that, they give it back to the researcher and they ask them to rework on it and submit it. So at that level itself, they stop that plagiarism. Earlier, once we submit, it goes to the examiner. From the examiner, we receive comments, and they ask the scholar to republish that. Resubmit that. Nowadays, we have at this level itself, we stop that.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Another question by Reena Mittal, ma'am. She's asking, I would like to know names of softwares to recognize plagiarism. I think she means to say to check plagiarism. The recognize names of the softwares. Are there any like Auto and all? I think she must be asking about that. Hello? Hello, ma'am. Am I audible? You're not audible,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
I didn't get you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
She's
Could you repeat the question, ma'am?
yeah, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Could you repeat the question, ma'am?
Yes, yes, ma'am. This question is I have
Am I
lost it
audible,
now
ma'am?
somewhere. Yeah, yeah. Now you're audible. I have lost it somewhere, I think now. Let's go to the another question. I'll come to it later on. Pramod Kumar is asking, would you like to tell me something about participatory research? Participatory research.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Participatory research, it's really interesting, and we learn a lot in that. It would be really interesting. First, when we begin research, that would really give us a lot of confidence to do research.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I hope they got the answer. And there is this. Now I got that question from Reena Mittal. She's asking, I would like to know names of softwares to recognize plagiarism. We can hear you. There is
Yes,
a
ma'am.
question by Sabia Mufti, ma'am. That is, ma'am, already students and scholars are now aware of plagiarism, but important to cite the same in review of literature. Could you please, ma'am, tell the percentage of plagiarism which is allowed in the research papers? Please suggest names of some softwares to check the plagiarism. I think the same question everyone is really worried about. The same
Yes, ma'am.
question. Percentage
Names
of
of the
plagiarism and the
yes,
software. Yes.
yes, ma'am. Names of the softwares, only publishers have the copyrights to use plagiarism, and they use certain softwares. But when we give it for thesis thesis submission, we are not supposed to use any softwares. When you use it, when you upload that, then when you take it to the
Ma'am, we lost you. You're not audible.
for plagiarism check, once you expose that to a different software, then it'll show 100%. That means when you
Yeah, can you hear me now? Yeah, can you
Yes,
hear?
yes. Yes, yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
can you hear me now?
Yes. Please carry on, ma'am. Okay. I think we lost, connection with ma'am. It seems it's heavily
Can
raining over
yeah.
there. Uh,
Yeah.
We have, yes.
This
Yeah, yeah.
is what happens.
Yeah.
Only publishers have the copyright,
Okay.
and we have to approach the publishers
Okay.
in research publication. Plagiarism, usually they allow in research publication, journal publication, and all 10% or sometimes 50%. And if it is really a good research publication, and they allow only 5%. It should be 5%.
5%. Okay. I think Clara, 7
Yes,
best
ma'am.
online
Yes, ma'am.
tools to detect plagiarism in the chat box. People can check it out. It was really wonderful, ma'am Mangai Wilson. It was really wonderful, ma'am, to be with you and the discourse which you presented. Especially, I like the 5 principles of ethics which you presented in your PPT. They are supposed to be kept in mind by all of us, definitely. Though in between there was some connection issues, so somehow we really, yeah, we actually were not able to hear you, but somehow the presentation was too good and you have got lot many compliments over here. Thank you so much, Ma'am Wilson. We'll definitely meet on some other platform. Maybe if the things goes right, you are welcome to Shimla. We can have a physical conference over here. Thank you so much for joining us for today.